So I decided to continue working on this house project thing. I've fully gutted it now. So at this point, I was trying to figure out what should I do to the inside. I thought about trying to just paint it, trying to stick paper in there. I don't know. It's really just a wing it kind of project. So I remembered that I had air dry clay. So I figured I'm going to play with air dry clay and see how that works. I didn't do anything to the big one because its insides aren't seen. So the only thing I'm going to change is the outside on that. Also, I don't know how much of the outside I want to change because the big clock shop is pretty cool, honestly. And I didn't change the people at all because I like them. I considered taking them off and then just gluing them to each other so that it's not two halves, make little figures. But I like that they can move. So, yeah, I'm new to using air dry clay. I have only used it and failed so far. I mean, it seems like it's going so well while you're doing it. You get it wet, you follow the instructions, you try to mold it together, but as it dries, it cracks. Why? How do you prevent that? I mean, it's really satisfying to just wet it and smooth it out into your object. And then, also as it dries, it's separated from the object because it's shrinking a little bit. Yeah, fine, whatever. My bigger issue was the cracking because how do you fix that, right? But look how cute it looks when it's just smooth and unset. That's a bummer. So it was kind of funky. Also, I wanted them to be more like houses and not like little shops. So I was trying to cover things that said shop names or whatever. So I tried to put like pieces on the top that looked like overhangs. And I tried to cover the doors because the doors have a lot of detail. You'll see how that goes at the end. Oh my god. I mean, they're all similar in their failure, but the one at the very end, that really set the project. Like, wow, okay, thanks. Rude. Ugh, whatever. I mean, probably on me because it's got to be user error. But what's the user error here? I read the instructions and I followed them. There's like 3 instructions. Put it down, wet it, shape it, let it dry. I'm missing something. So, and then I used a pencil to try to draw wood grain in it so that it would look like a nice big wooden door, like a little fairy house or something in your garden. Don't mind my voice. I am allergic to something, and I was told to do an allergy test by one of my various doctors, and I went to do the allergy test. This is annoying because I know that I'm allergic to birch, and it is almost birch season, so it could definitely be an issue with that. But I was having some kind of allergy before that. Well, it was not birch season, and they wanted to figure out what. So, anyways, long story short, long story long, I'm babbling. I did the blood work, and it never populated in my chart on either of my portals, my medical portals. It's as though I never did the blood draw. So I sent a message today to ask, and I said, the date I did it, and the doctor who asked for the test, and like, what happened? What happened to my blood draw? It was 2 different tests I was supposed to do. One registered part of the information, the other one's completely gone. The F happened. Why does this happen all the time? Okay, like, this is the worst hospital experience I have ever experienced. Ugh. It's not the first time my blood's been lost. So, in the beginning of the year, I had to go to the ER here for the first time. Horrid ER. It's the worst ER I've ever been to. A woman who was not sober grabbed my legs when I was in a wheelchair and told me, "You will walk." She wouldn't let me go. It was not a pleasant experience. Also, back to the blood rant though. They lost my blood 3 times at that hospital in one event, whatever you call it, stay. experience, whatever word you'd say for being there. One round, one horrid night in the damned hospital, and they lost my blood so many times that they had to call in, what's the name of the phlebotomist or whatever, like the main person. And then she came in and she asked me, and she's like, oh, they told me they're having trouble getting blood out of you. And I told her, no, they are not. No, they are not. And I showed her my arms. Look how many times they have tried to take blood out of me. They take the blood just fine, and then they lose it in the lab. And it's the same lab here that I think lost it again, because it all goes to the same place. I'm about sick of this hospital situation. It's very frustrating. I have to do another CT tomorrow for that doctor who wanted the allergy test because there's swelling on the left side of my head. Anyways, on the inside, wonderful. Just wonderful. Ugh. I don't remember where, my face. I don't remember where I was going with that, or really what my point was, but there's your wonderful rant about my blood work. Okay, so another rant about the blood work. This hospital experience. So let me just tell you, this is a rant day because my project is funky. So this whole video is funky. So I'm just going to rant because I'm enjoying that. And what else am I going to talk about? So anyways, I went to get blood work also like 2 weeks ago. It was recent, and I have that. It was before, maybe 3 weeks ago. It was before I was asked to do these ones. I was asked to do some other ones for a different doctor. Anyways, it's all done at the same office by the same lady. Went up to her. She was in a totally different mood that time. I went up there. She was very intimidating. There was blood on the table thingy. You know, the weird little chair thing they give you to put your arm to take blood. Somebody else's blood was on that thing with me as I was reading the little sign that says, you're in caring hands. And I was thinking, this lady's angry and there is blood on the table. Am I in caring hands? I don't think so. I'm stressed. Also, I did those spinal shots weeks ago. I don't know how many, but at least 3. And there are still big bumps all over my back where the shots were. Why? Is that normal? Were they supposed to go away? Nobody told me anything. Also, my doctor is completely unreachable. The man who did the little surgery. Also, the man who didn't tell me it was a surgery and acted as though you just sit in an office chair and get a shot like you would a flu shot. No, you don't. You get laid on an operating table and they x-ray you, and it's this big experience and very intimidating because there's like 25 people in the room all fully dressed in this big gear because it's getting tons of x-rays taken, and then you're just laying there exposed on the table with your butt up thinking, first of all, how much of my butt crack are all these people staring at, because you know that's awkward. But then secondly, like, oh my god, what the hell is happening? Breathe. Just breathe. So anyways, how's that? Things have been very different in my life lately, and it's kind of all pinging around together. There's just a lot of stress currently at the moment. That was redundant. Am I just complete? That's who I am now. I'm just redundant. That's who I became. As a child, we did these things in school where they would have us all gather, all the ages, in the cafeteria thing, whatever you call the little common room at schools. And they would have us all say words that started with a certain letter. And we were doing the letter R one day. Things that you want to be, like, you know, good things. Like you want to be, I can't even think of a single good one. Oh my goodness. A single good thing that starts with the letter R. You want to be respectful. There you go. I thought of a word. Okay, well, anyways, I heard one of the kids say the word redundant. And I wasn't so shy. So I loudly shouted out that we want to be redundant. And then I was laughed at by the adults because they knew what it meant. Well, it turns out I became redundant. So, okay, so then I let this stuff dry for 2 days and I came back to check on it. I don't think it was fully dry after the 2 days. Some of it seemed like it was, but some of it wasn't the same color, so I don't think it was. And there's so many cracks in it. So if you look at this, I think maybe one of them was smooth. Maybe. Yeah, that one looks smooth. The rest of them were totally cracked, and a bunch of chips and pieces fell out that I thought I could glue in, but I didn't try to. Oh, it was sad. And as I touched it, pieces fell out into my hand. I didn't really know what to do with them. Yeah, this was a funky mess. This was an experiment kind of gone wrong. I'm going to see if I can salvage it, but my hope for this project is dwindling. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to do something here. Okay, so the door came off. But if you look at the print, it does look kind of cool, even though Pluto is written backwards. The way that the wood grain came out and the little details, they look really cute. But it was supposed to stay on. So I'm going to glue the pieces back on that fell off. And now I like the concept of sticking the air dry glue on things and making prints. Of what though? Like, oof. This didn't go as I expected at all. I don't know why I didn't expect pieces to fall off. I did expect it to crack, but I did not expect pieces to fall off. The hope was that I would make a door with a knob, because these doors have no knob, and I wanted to be like someone's house, not going into their house with a knob that's big enough that human fingers can open it. It didn't really go as expected. So then anyways, I thought I want to be able to paint it. So I thought, my smart self over here, gesso is magic. Acrylic gesso can stick to anything. Ugh, this is what I thought. Don't believe that thought. I tried to gesso this stuff. It gesses very well, the air dry clay, but the plastic didn't. It's sort of stuck, so we'll see if paint sticks to that plastic. I'm trying not to have to spray paint the whole thing and then start over. I wanted to keep some of the details as they are, but if I can't get the gesso to stick, I think spray paint would probably stick. I try to avoid using spray paint as much as possible because it's, first of all, either extremely hot or extremely cold outside. Secondly, that's very messy and I don't want it on my glasses or to breathe it in, so it's kind of a hassle to use. I don't know. Why was I even talking about that? Oh, because this paint doesn't stick. Yeah, this paint doesn't really work. It is what it is. I tried. It's so messy. Like it dries all funky, but I think the paint might still stick to it. It's going to be an attempt. I didn't paint the outside. I mean, I can feel the chalk, but when you look at it, it's not, you can see big spots where it's not on there. So honestly, this is just a big project. Am I in over my head? And will it all be trash in the end? I'm hoping not. I have faith that I can make the little world I'm picturing in my head. The inside matters too, you know? So let's figure this out.